What is up, guys, and welcome into another episode of the Ain't It Funky podcast. My guest today is Ben Satterlee. Ben is the drummer for Grammy award-winning roots rock band Larkin Poe. Known as Nashville Drum Coach online, Ben is a Nashville-based drum educator, live and studio musician who has 20-plus years of professional gigging and touring experience under his belt. In our conversation, we spoke about his audition process for Larkin Poe, rudiments, balancing family with touring life, why he's serious about keeping up a fitness routine on and off the road, golden advice for drummers trying to break into the industry, and more. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you're listening. The video version is available on YouTube as well. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy. Ben Satterlee, welcome into the podcast.
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, Ben, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. It's, I got to tell you, I've been a Larkin Poe fan for a hot minute. So like when you joined Larkin Poe, I was like, oh, who's this new guy? Like at the time. And then I went and checked out all your videos and I was like, damn, man, this guy's a beast. So man, it's awesome to have you on, man.
Dude, yeah, thank you for having me, man. Yeah, dude, the LP fans, man, are really, they've been amazing to me. There's been like a few guys that are just like really they're oversharers as far as their opinions are concerned, and they're like, yeah, man, I mean, you're pretty good, but Kevin was just way better. Like, and
what?
like,
Seriously?
Yeah, and like just a handful, and it's mostly been like in comments, but it's just funny because like they're of course allowed to have their opinion, and like
Sure.
It's no disrespect to the previous guy. It was just funny is all, because I'm like, okay, because I mean I've never had like hardcore fans. You know what I mean? Like drummers don't really do that. I mean, I met Max Weinberg a few months back.
Wow, man.
And even when I got to meet him, I was really proud of myself because inside I'm going, it's Max Weinberg. Yeah. But I was like, man, dude, I was really proud of myself because inside was freaking out. I said, man, dude, I've just been a fan for a long time, and thank you so much. And I think I asked one, nerdy question, was like, hey, when you did this, what was that? But I wasn't like, hey, you remember that one time when you were on Conan?
So wait, did you guys, where did you meet him? Did you guys open up for Springsteen or?
So oddly enough, Larkin was supposed to, but that we ended up having to cancel that show. But right. he was in town because his son Jay, who used to play with Slipknot and now Suicidal Tendencies, he was playing a clinic at the drum show for the Music City Drum Show.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Amazing, man. Amazing. Yeah, that must have been a trip to meet Max, and obviously, I mean, Jay's an absolute beast himself, and
well, it was cool to meet him in the context I did, which was I didn't meet him as Max Weinberg, the hotshot lawyer, or as Max Weinberg, the drum rock icon. I met him as Max Weinberg, the dad of Jay, who was just there to support his son. Like, so literally, my homie, do you know Jake Summers?
Yes. Yeah. Luke Combs, drummer.
Luke Combs, exactly. Yeah. So, him and my friend Matt Maxwell, who's a good friend of mine, he's actually known my wife longer because they went to college together. They were both there to do a clinic right after Jay's. So, like, I was helping swap stuff. And, like, it ended up being, like, a really cool... Actually, sorry, no, it wasn't that. It was for my friend Dylan, who was also doing a clinic there. But I was swapping him, and so like I was just interacting accidentally with them, and so he kind of was like, okay, well, he maybe thought I was a stagehand or something, but he was doing what I would have done if my sons were there doing something like that too, which was just like, hey, let me adjust this stand for you. Oh, you don't worry about it. Like it was really cool to watch him.
Cool, man, amazing. And so take me back to. I know you got the Larkin Poe gig through, I think, wasn't it a mutual friend of Tyler Bryant, like recommended you or something? Was that the story?
Yeah. So where are you based out of, by the way?
Berlin, Germany.
You're in Berlin. Oh, dude, we have, dude, you got to come hang. We have an off day on.
Oh, dude. That would be amazing because I've actually got a ticket to come see you guys on the 1st of November.
Oh, dude, well then we'll totally hang. But
dude, amazing.
Yeah. Berlin. No, I love that city, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun. No, so yeah, so the way Nashville works is cattle call auditions really don't happen anymore. You know, like it's not a thing. So when you get an audition, if you hear about it, it is because you know somebody who's in that camp, or you're in really well with somebody who's connected to somebody in that camp. You almost never are a complete stranger. And so when I got approached, it was literally so one of my mentors, Uncle Kurt Biscara, another absolute icon drummer who's been amazing to me. But he's based in LA and he's been there since the '80s and he's a monster. He had done some session work for Tyler. So when Tyler hit him up, he was like, "Oh yeah, man, hit up my boy Ben Satterlee," because like Uncle Kirky's always been a huge advocate of mine. Um, and then another guy is this drummer named Caleb Crosby, who's now the drummer for Kelsey Ballerini. Uh,
Nice.
but he also plays and has a long relationship with Tyler, and it does a lot of stuff with his band, and also does session work. So like the last two records with Larkin Poe, it's not me on drums; it's mostly Tyler. So,
Right.
he was another one. He knew of me and he referred me, and then another one was a former manager friend of theirs who had worked with a client that both the ladies and myself had worked with at different times. This guy named Christian Bush, and his former manager also referred me, and I hadn't seen or talked to her in probably 5 or 6 years. So it meant a lot for her to still refer me, anyways.
Right. You must have made a good impression then, yeah.
Hopefully, but yeah, um, I got a text from Uncle Kirk. He was like, yo, nephew, I just put your name in the hat for this audition. Be on the lookout. And then they reached out. And yeah, I was one of, I think, 10 drummers. There was a couple from Nashville. And I was informed, because I never really found out who these guys were. But there were some out of state people to audition as well.
Okay. And so maybe kind of, if you're allowed to, maybe run me through what the audition was. What songs did you play? How many songs? How did that kind of that day look?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not sharing anything like secret or anything like that. Basically, I was the first one to audition, and they were doing 2 days, and I think they were doing 4 or 5 drummers each day. And as you know, nobody really enjoys doing auditions. No one enjoys having to run on. It's a slog regardless. And so I will say the last 10 auditions I've done, I've gotten every one of them. And
Wow.
I want people to understand it's not because I'm this amazing drummer, and it's not because I'm just that much better. It's I'm good at auditioning. And what I mean by that is I used to really suck at it. So I used to show up and just all nerves and and then you walk in and you forget everything that you worked so hard for, and I call it the doom spiral, and it's so easy to find yourself in. So after missing out on probably 20 straight, like consecutive auditions were just bomb, 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 bomb. I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. So let's unpack this. And I started to really, okay. So I show up and I meet, okay, so I need to practice, calm down. Because I know once it matters, I can execute, but it's all the other stuff. So for me, I started going, okay, breathe, relax. Don't walk in trying to be somebody you're not. That's the biggest one. And so like, whether it's your listeners or anybody else who asks, like it's not some secret. It's be who you are, or else you will have to pretend to be this person who they hired. And that will always end badly for everyone involved. So when I started walking in, I am nothing but myself. Hey guys, how y'all doing? What's up, brother? Like I call everyone brother. That's my thing. Um, I walked in with no ego, and I'm not saying, oh, like I'm not trying to like prop up anything that's not. I was aware of who they were. Obviously, like stupid talented, the both of them. The bass player and I had actually played some shows together. We had basically been two ships passing for like 8 years. So we knew a lot of the same people. So when I was like, oh, you know her? Oh, you know him? Oh, of course, that makes sense. And then so we had that going in. And then they sent me 3 or 4 songs, all off the new record. And I'm trying to remember if they sent me board tapes. You know what? I'm pretty sure they sent me the record, and then I listened to live YouTube clips I could find. And so my goal was, okay, if I'm playing the live arrangement, I want to have that vibe. And if they're wanting the studio thing, I need to have that and add some of the live edge element. Because that's also something that I do that not everybody does, is when I am auditioning and they're wanting me to play the way I would play, well, my goal is to take the record and to add just a smidge of edge to it. I want it to sound real. So if it's like, let's say the tempo's here, that's the record. I'd want it about right, like 2-3 clicks. Just give it some, give it some teeth. So when I auditioned, I wanted to sound like me. I didn't play on those records. I love those records, but if I had, what would I have done? Or since I didn't, I'm translating this live. How can I put my stamp on it? And from the moment I walked in, I felt nothing but comfortable with these ladies. And since, I mean, we have a great relationship, but they, from the jump, were like, we want you because we like your thing. So please be you. And I think they said something along those lines before our audition. They said, we want this to feel real, and we want this to feel like, we're all part of it. And I said, bet, so as soon as I counted off the first song, oh, I didn't tell you this. Previously, they had run pretty heavy tracks and loops and stuff. Not to fill in all these extra gaps. It's just, you can't fly in, this string section for this one spot, something like that.
Mm.
And I didn't really have any idea or inkling of what was going to happen. So I practiced as if I was going to have to play along to like some Ableton tracks, right? And then I show up and I don't see a tracks rig. So then I go to my app on my phone. I use the Tempo app, and I had the 4 or 5 click times already tapped out just in case, and it ended up being a good thing. But I counted off the first song, and then Rebecca, who's the lead singer, immediately just goes, and she just, she goes back because she feels everything so far on the back end. It's that Southern thing, man. Like, especially like those ladies, because they're born East Tennessee, like Appalachia. It's swampy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite New Orleans swamp, but it's still really on the back end. So even to this day, she says you can never be too far on the back end for me, because she'll always. But I realized pretty quickly, like 2 bars in, I was like, holy crap, we're not on the click. So I just turned it off
Right.
and just went. And so that's what I did for the 4 songs. And it ended up being one of those, okay, cool moments, because I didn't realize that they were kind of looking to see what I would do. But that's later ended up being a thing where, like, yeah, we want to see if you can move. And there's been many shows where she's looked back at me and said, she'll say, just for some reason, we just need to go beyond. And I always say, like, look here, let's go. You, I'll follow you. Let's go. There's been many times where I said, nope, we don't need it. And it's fine. And honestly, this next tour cycle, I might just say, do you want to try it? And just kind of see, because I mean, they enjoy the live thing. So I do the 3-4 songs. And after the first one, they're already like, all right, like, did you get a good idea. I'm not sure how many auditions you've personally done, but sometimes you can just tell as soon as you walk in, you're like, oh, I'm not getting this gig. And with them, as soon as we locked in, I was like, okay. And of course, it's not nearly as tight as it is now, but for the very first time, oh, and I had forgot to mention, I hadn't gotten to practice any of these songs. I
What?
was tour prepping to audition.
Right. Okay.
I was out with this other artist named Phil Phillips, and he only had another 2 weeks left on that tour, and then like 8 months off. And I was like, I gotta freaking work. And yeah, so that email to audition came on week 4 of the Phil Phillips tour, and I had, I think, 3 days of prep. But never once did I actually get to play any of the songs before we went into audition. So
Wow.
I messaged him. I said, "Ladies, is it okay if I have charts, because I'm literally on tour? I don't even
Yeah.
have it to play on, because I can't really during sound check be woodshedding this." So I was literally just like, "Okay, thank you, to my good friend Jim Riley for his amazing book on the National Number System, because now I'm in a place where I'm confident, where I can chart and show up and go." So like, I've been practicing every day. Now they are my boss, right? But when we're out and about, it's goofy, it's silly. Half the time we're talking about family, and it just random stuff. And so it's very easygoing. But on stage, they know that I'm out for blood. If I'm real, even if I'm tired, and I can see that they're tired, I'm gonna go that much more, because I'm like, come on, we got more time. We got, and of course they're never holding back. But like, even more so, like, I love just pushing them just that little bit, because the most amazing stuff comes when they're just having fun. Like, I always say this, like, people miss out because they don't get to see what I see. Like, obviously, like, I'm on stage, but like, there's these little moments where they turn around and like, we're looking at each other that nobody else gets to see. And it's like, oh, that's the good stuff. And you don't even our back mics, like, she might say something really freaking funny, or somebody does a flub, and we're all just kind of, because the show is so dialed that like, even a flub is not really that noticeable unless you've watched multiple shows and you're looking at that exact moment and going, oh, it's actually supposed to be this. But like, the ladies are so spot on that even when they're having a hard day, or like when we played up in we did Red Rocks a few months back, and like, Red Rocks, the elevation is like so high up and the air is thin, and freaking Rebecca is pregnant, like, and she's still
Wow.
hitting all this air. And so it was really cool, because I'm going like, well, if she's 8 months pregnant and she's still going for it, who am I to freaking hold back? You know what I mean? Like, is
Whoa.
they're awesome. And then of course, like, Megan, she always goes full bore. And then if she has a bad sound check, even more so, because she's got something to prove to herself. It's been really cool watching, like, mentally, like, what they have to do in order to get to the next level, because those ladies have been independent since like day one, and they're
Mm.
still on an upward trajectory in a time where so many people are struggling, like, badly, to be able to do anything, let alone like trailblaze. So it's been really, really cool to watch them, because like, I mean, they're boss babes for real. Like, they go for it, and it's I'm like, you're running that too, and you edited this, and you mixed this, and like, it's they have like 1,000 hats, man. So it's like, I got 4 kids, and I'm still going, whoa.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, man. They're kick ass, man, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I saw them in did I see them in Barcelona, I think, at some point? That was like the show I saw. And yeah, man,
We
I was
in Barcelona with them a few times.
because I saw them with Kevin. This I think this was just before he left. But yeah, man, I was in the first row and I was like so blown away. Obviously, I expected them to be good, but I was like, damn, like the energy, like the vibe, there's so much soul in there, man. It's like, and you can just feel that. It's yeah, incredible.
Well, and I mean, were you familiar with them as the Level Sisters? Like, did you know them as that
Yeah,
iteration?
no, well, I know of when they were the Level Sisters, and obviously when their sister used to be with them when they were
Yes,
really
yeah.
young, right?
They're
And
big.
yeah, but yeah.
And I mean, they're so steeped in, because like, okay, so there's just one song called Um, oh my, seriously? Sorry. Dude, I literally just drank my chai to like wake me up some more, and I am. Anyways, there's a song. There's a song we do. Don't.
Is it in the set? The one that you're playing
Yeah,
now? Great. You'll probably get on stage, look down at the set list, and be like, "Oh, that was the song."
dude, we literally play it every show.
Amazing. That's
No,
amazing.
but anyways, it's an old Sun House song, and they every time it's been so cool to be like, okay,
John
let
the
me.
Revelator.
What's
John the
that?
Revelator? Is it John the
No,
Revelator?
that's another one, dude. We've never
Oh,
actually played that live. At least I haven't with them.
right.
Um, oh my gosh, seriously, like I cannot believe I am blanking on this freaking name. This is ridiculous. But anyway, no matter where we go, be it rural Kentucky or Barcelona or, New Zealand, us playing these songs that are so steeped in like old American traditions has been one of the most fulfilling things because I didn't, I guess, realize how far reaching American music really was until I was in literally the opposite end of the world, still watching people who do not speak English as their first language perfectly trying to nail these inflections from like an 100-year-old song written in the South. Like it's remarkable to me that music is still that far reaching. Like, dude, I saw this video maybe 3 or 4 days ago. There's this Japan based bar that's basically it's a honky tonk, and all they do is play like old 50s and 60s country,
Wow, amazing.
and like really well. Because of course, Asian people, the culture is we do it, we're going to do it to excellence. So these dudes are ripping in period correct clothing. It's unbelievable.
Wow, man.
So
That's insane.
getting to see stuff like that has been really cool. And after we did this one show in Byron Bay in Australia, we were coming back from the show, and I literally was like, it was just me and the ladies in this van, and I said, ladies, I gotta tell you, like, thank you, because this has been such an eye-opening experience to realize, like, wow, this thing, this American art form, we now get to be ambassadors of it in all these other parts of the world. Like, it was really, really cool,
Man, I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah. So when you're playing live, are you guys playing on a click, or is it all just pure feel, or are you
There's
counting yourself
a
in? Or
song where we run click the entire song. Not one.
there's not a single song. No.
No.
Okay.
There's a few where I might run it like a minute, maybe two, but two's really pushing it. Because also, and I love this about the live show, it's kind of evolving into it's like Black Sabbath territory. In that when you listen to old Sabbath, man, there was these moments that would push and there are these moments that would drag, like, but it was dope because they were collectively freaking locked. And so there's this one section, boom, doom, boom, doom, I mean, like, she wants me to come from the back on this fill and then forward and then and then somehow find the middle. And I've been really enjoying finding these little moments where I'm like, frick, like this feels better when this pushes. This feels better when this drags. And of course, like me and Tarka, the bass player, we locked immediately. And then getting our keyboard player, he's fresh out of, he went to Belmont? Yeah, Belmont. And so like even more so, like we're having to now really, before we had to lock and then hopefully one person could go, but now that we have everybody locking, now the ladies are both getting more freedom, so Rebecca's like, hey, I don't actually have to play this lead part now. I can kind of just, or I can play this lead part rather than having to play the rhythm because Megan's covering the rhythm and then Keys is covering pad. You know what I mean? So like that type of stuff has been really, really, really cool. Oh, by the way, his name's Lucas Petit for those curious.
Right.
But I mean, this is his first gig and he's doing such a great job.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys play, man. I'm so stoked.
Dude, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. I was literally looking at all the stuff I have to like pack up because I'm bringing two snares of my own, and then sticks and cymbals and like the logo head and extra heads and stuff. So, but yeah, dude. I mean, we have a couple what we would call like warm up shows. Not to diminish them, but they're smaller one offs as opposed to like a run and then a bigger one. So we have a private thing that's gonna be awesome. Really really cool venue outside of Atlanta, and then we have a show down in the Gulf side of Texas for we're opening up for the Avett Brothers.
For the which brothers?
The Avett Brothers.
The Avett Brothers. I've never heard of them.
They're awesome. They're I mean they go and play arenas. So
Okay.
do you remember the band Dashboard Confessional?
No, I do not.
Okay. So
What's that?
how old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay, yeah, Dashboard would have been before. But anyways, Mike Marsh, who's now the drummer for the Avets, he used to play with Dashboard. So most people know him.
Okay. Yeah, you got to write me a list of some bands, man. It sounds like there's a bunch of bands I need to listen to that I haven't gotten hip to yet.
Well, and one of the other really cool things about playing with the ladies has been I've been hip to bands that I never had had any experience with, and gotten to meet and befriend some of them, and like you see them over the years, you're like, wow, like man, there's some really amazing music. But the difference is the ladies they go about it. They're in the trenches, man. Like they still go out and play these shows and give the same intensity as they always have. I mean, obviously the venues are bigger and bigger, and especially in Europe, they're like some of them are very big. But they still, whether it's a club here in the States or a massive arena or stadium or wherever in Europe, they still give you that same show. Like they're gonna go for it and do it, and it's like you gotta respect that, man.
Hell yeah, man. Amazing, dude. Incredible. But yeah, so dude, I want to ask you about your hands because going through your Instagram, right? Like seeing the pad stuff, like seeing your pocket, your technique, like talk to me a little bit about your background with like rudiments and the pad and
Yeah.
I saw like the Weckl fives earlier that you did and stuff. Dude, it's so that stuff is pristine, man. It's clean as hell. Tell me about like your journey with rudiments and yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I work really, really hard on my hands, and not in that I was trying to go for speed. I just hate the feeling of resistance. When I am playing and I'm trying to do something, the feeling of having to muscle through it as opposed to just being able to just like let it go. Like just like a clean 5-stroke roll. Like there's nothing better than that. And I remember watching this amazing old VHS tape where Dave Weckl was discussing his approach to technique and stuff. And of course, he's using these 5A sticks, which have no weight at all, but he was getting these beautiful tones, and he was always just so relaxed. But the thing is, I wanted to have like the fluidity of, say, somebody like a Weckl or a Vinny or a Gadd, but still have the bombastic ability to play. So like, it's weird. My groove mentors, as far as like, those were the guys. I don't play like almost any of them. Like I can do the Steve Jordan thing, and please don't misunderstand what I'm saying by that. I can't play as Steve Jordan, but what I'm saying is I can tune that way, and I understand that pocket. It's not in here. I have to really think about it. But I loved his approach, which was minimalist. And I'm still very much a minimalist when it comes to my kit. I hate having to have a second crash cymbal. So if I can get away with it, I will have one crash, I will have one ride, and a set of hi-hats, chef's kiss, I'm done. So Same way with Gad. He's another one. Unbelievably fluid, just buttery rolls, and like his. I've actually gotten to play on his kit before, like the one he has a Nashville kit that stays over at a cartage company, and they brought it out, and it sounds terrible unless Steve Gadd is playing on it. Anybody else sits down, it sounds like that sounds horrible. He sits down and, like, and here's why I'm Steve Gadd and you're not. He got that thing.
Yeah.
But the guys that I actually play more like are more heavy hitters. So Abe Laboriel Jr. He was the first guy where I was like, okay, I want he's hitting all of them, and that's what I want. The feel, the tones, the freaking just look. And what's funny is I've actually gotten to meet him a few times. I'm taller than him, but he's wider than me. But when he sits on that drum kit, nobody's bigger than that guy. He just, you know what I mean? Like the authority that guy has. That's what I want. And I don't play his sizes, but my gosh, like he was the first dude where I said, man, like the feel, the attitude, he has it. Another is, Sean Pelton. He's become a friend of mine. He's still a mentor. Love his playing. Also JJ Johnson, also Ronnie Vanucci, also Darren King. I mean, like we can go and continue on. So many of those drummers are why I am. My whole right hand is because of Herman Matthews, Uncle Herman. My right hand technique on my hi-hat is 100% that guy. This beautiful French grip. And he plays these tree trunk 17-inch long sticks. And he just barely has to hit. And he's another one. I'm taller than him, but he hits like, and I have bigger legs than him, and I can still barely push down his pedal. Like, Uncle Herman is built like a freaking tank. But there's something to be said about when a player plays with a real level of authority. And I think that's one of the reasons why John Bonham is still so revered. Because this dude who had no business being as swampy as he did, if you would have told me that dude grew up in southern Louisiana versus southern England, I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. And you're like, good Lord, can it be any further back? But what he liked was like soul music. He liked that thing. So it's remarkable that one of the heaviest nobody can take away the fact that John Bonham is this heavy dude dug this American thing and then said, all right, I'm going to take this soul music and mix it with these other weirdos, and we're going to come up with this new thing and then add some flute. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it's remarkable to see what can happen when you can be open to influence, but also open to innovation as well.
Yeah, man, for sure. But so when it comes to Rudiments, is there like certain resources that you would kind of credit?
Dude, I forgot about the whole question was about Rudiments.
No, man, I loved you talking about the drummers, where your sound comes from. It's all super valuable. But yeah, I'm such a like rudiment nerd. I love my stick control. Stick control is like changed my life, changed my hands forever.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'd be curious, what changed you?
Excuse me, brother. I'm so sorry. You have to remember, I have 4 kids, and most of the time, I don't talk to any adults that aren't my wife the whole day. So
dude, I'm honored that you're talking to me. Then
you're the second, because we're getting a new front door. So the other guy was also here, but like. Right. So sometimes my brain goes, oh, a person. Let's talk about everything. So my apologies. So anyways, Rudiments, Weckel's stance on Rudiments are like the drummer's alphabet. So when we're talking, I'm not saying hello, comma, or even worse, HELLO, comma, space. You're thinking, hello, my name is Ben. I'm a drummer. What do you, you're thinking letters, then words, then phrases, then sentences, then paragraphs, then stories. And I loved that concept. And once again, I was in 7th grade at the time. It made sense to me. And I said, okay, great. And then when I started learning the essential 40, I realized pretty quickly that really it's essential 10, maybe 12. Because really everything is a variation of a single, a diddle, a flam, or a triplet. And really triplets are just a variation of singles. So once I saw that, I realized, oh, so really I need to work on these 4 things always. Then everything else will kind of. So if I'm doing, pataflaflas, which is something I still remember from when I was in high school, that to me just brings me right back. I'm going, oh yeah. A well-placed flam is as good as anything to me. So when I'm doing my rudiments, my whole thing is I want to be so unbelievably comfortable that this isn't even the most interesting thing I'm doing. So when I'm playing, and what I mean by this is I'm playing, but I'm up here. Like I'm not thinking about what I'm playing. I know what I'm playing, and I'm up here listening. And that is the jump that I always say with my students between being a musician and being just a player of whatever instrument. Oh, I play drums. Oh, I play bass. Great. When you graduate to being a bassist or from a bassist to a musician, you stopped thinking about what you're playing and started thinking about what we are sounding like collectively. That's the jump. And so when you do that, you realize, holy crap, as a drummer, I have the best seat in the house because I get to interact. But the only way to do that is you have to get these things down. So like with rudiments, I don't remember all the hybrids, man. Like I just got to meet a really killer drummer. And we bonded because I just recently got back into doing more practicing. So during the last 3-ish months of being off from the road, I've done some sub work, I've done some sessions, and I've done some lessons. But the most of my time has been family, babies, farm stuff. But at nighttime, dude, I got me an innovative percussion practice pad, and I said every night for at least 15, 20 minutes, I am going to get back on this. Because, like, if you've ever seen me live or when you see us live, you'll be like, that dude hits pretty hard. I'm not hitting nearly as hard as you think because so much of it is in my wrist. I almost no arm at all. But even still, there's just something about like in the studio, dude, I don't even break sticks, bro. Like if I played just studio, I'd probably play like a 5A. Like I wouldn't need it. But live, I mean, it's a rock show. Yes, it's Americana. Yes, it's roots music. Yes, it's blues. Yes, it's singer-songwriter. Yes, it's all those things. But it's still, at the core of it is a rock show. And so when I auditioned, I approached it as a rock gig. Now,
Right.
we want to play Americana, which we do. Like, one section, I'm singing 5-part harmony and playing snare with brushes full on like bluegrass style. And I love that too. And then right after that, we'll bust off into something that you're like, whoa, that sounds just gnarly. It's been really cool to see the jump. But when we do the genre hopping like we do, if my singles are trash, they're going to be my singles are still going to suck playing country versus playing rock. My diddles, like one of my biggest pet peeves in this world, like makes my eye tick, is when a person is playing hi-hat and snare and does a 5-stroke roll, the first 2 on the hi-hat, the 2 on the snare, and back on the 1, I just want to die. Like it's the worst thing. I said, take the second cluster, put it on put them both on the snare. Just don't keep them right there, or else I'm lose it. So like there are little things like that I'm like, okay, this is a thing why we practice. Because, and I will say that I truly want everybody. I wish we all could go and make millions of dollars playing. Unfortunately, it's not possible. But when COVID happened and so much of our opportunities to make money for ourselves were taken, I started I mean, I was struggling with depression, but I was thinking to myself, what would I do if I just had like F you money? Like I can do whatever I want and I would give away as much of my knowledge as I possibly could, because I come from the old school, you know, mindset where basically like I'll learn, but I have to mess up myself first,
Hmm.
which sucks. And now I want to learn from people that have already screwed up, so I don't do that. And so I'm trying to pass that on. I've done this and it's gone really, really badly. Let me show you how to not do this. I've auditioned and it's been really, really bad. Let me show you ways to make it better. I've tried to play with the click and I could not do it. Let me show you ways to like get over that mental block. So for me, yes, I do teach private lessons. Yes, I do. And you know, I love rudimental warm-ups and all that stuff. But for me, it's bigger than just rudiments. It's like I don't see a lot of people willing to put in the time in order to actually perfect this thing. They put in just enough to be able to play, which, believe me, go to the woodshed and get the lead out. I love that when somebody's like, I learned 4 beats. Okay, I can play all the Beatles. Like, let's go. Yes, go out there and play, because that's what keeps them engaged. But in order, once again, to jump from drummer to musician, that's a big jump. And it takes what a lot of people are going to do, which is a dedication to, I need to hone this in this season where it doesn't feel like it's going to matter. So when this next season comes in and I don't have time to prepare, I don't have to prepare because I'm already prepared.
I love that, man. That's
Yeah.
amazing advice. Yeah. Yeah, man. In the as you say, in the work in the shadows, in the time where nobody's watching, it's you're not flexing it on Instagram. It's and then so that when the time comes, you're ready, because when the thing shows up, it's just like, do you know David Goggins? Have you heard of
Yeah.
David Goggins? Yeah, the Navy SEAL. So I love this thing that he says is like, people need a purpose to work towards something, but he says what they don't realize is the purpose is always there because the purpose is you.
Mm-hmm.
So you should always be working on growing and bettering yourself, so that when that thing comes, you are ready, and you're always just ready. And yeah, as a musician, I think that's like an amazing mindset to have.
Dude, there's an old samurai proverb, and I believe it was uh Mitsumoto Musashi, which was like the most famous sword fighter from Japan of all time. He wrote this amazing book called The Book of Five Rings, but he was an undefeated samurai, and basically like he killed his first man at like 13 in a duel. Like he was just a savage like this, and he basically realized, I have to go away. I have to remove myself from society, and I have to fine tune this thing, or I'll die. Because like at this time, honor is everything, and basically everyone was just beefing with everyone to see who was the best. So he would go from city to city, just challenging. All right, who's the master of your school? Awesome, sweet, let's go duel. And like he was just a master of like the mental gymnastics. But at the end of his life, as all great warriors do, you start you reflect on your life. And of course, he'd never been beaten, so he had a good understanding of what it takes to win. And one of the things he talked about is, I believe it was Musashi, but he said, better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Damn. That's deep.
So
That's deep.
so you don't have to get ready,
Yeah.
like I've been listening. So like, once again, I haven't played the entire 90-minute show since the last show we played, but I've been listening to it probably 4 to 5 times a week, every week. I've been practicing more during this downtime than I ever have in probably 4 years. My hands feel better than they ever have. And now I'm going like, man, on top of everything else, I don't know, how long you've been following me, but like I've lost over 70 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, my family was a huge, so like going back to the Goggins things, like my family was the biggest reason why I wanted to do this, because not only do I want to be around, but also I have two little dudes with special needs, and one of them, my third son, he will probably end up having to have more of us of like caretakers as opposed to just parents. You know what I mean? And so because of that, that little turd's gonna get bigger. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And like, I still have to be able to help him. So my wife's like, "Oh, he's getting heavier." I'm like, "Yeah, they do that." But I'm going, "Love, I think you might have to go to the gym because like we're gonna start lifting." Because like my 10-year-old, when he falls asleep, so Friday night is family movie night. So they fall asleep in mommy daddy bed, and then I pick him up and take him back. He's 10, dude. He's big, and I'm still like, like I still walk him over, and it's like it's been fun to kind of see perks of making that health change. Like I no longer walk off the stage because like, and you when you see the show, I hope it's conveyed. I don't leave anything on the stage. I got nothing in the tank, but I don't feel like I'm going to die. It used to be I would have to chug 8 or 9 bottles of water, and I'm soaking through layers and layers of clothes. And now, I mean, I'm sweating 1 or 2 bottles of water, and I'm singing, but my body is now conditioned to not feel like we're going to absolutely die after the second song, knowing there's still 75 minutes to go.
Right, right. Do, do you manage to keep up a workout routine on the road?
I do, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
nice.
Especially in Europe, dude, the venues are rad. Like they have, and it's you never know from venue to venue. Like actually, last night I was up late after feeding my youngest, and I was looking at some of the photos of some of the venues we're doing in Europe because some of them we've done, but some of them the Larkin Poe has outgrown the venue capacity, so they had to go up to the next size. And some of them I've never seen before. And for me on the road, usually the gym when we have an off day, we stay at a hotel, and the hotel gyms in Europe are usually pretty good. Some of them are a little bit crappy. Like Germany it's a lot of yoga studios
Mm.
and that kind of crap.
Mm.
Not for me. The but I'm like, give me some weights, please. Um, but like I love when I find stairs, like 5 or 6 stairs, just up and down 20,
Hell
30
yeah.
minutes. Even more so like in the States, like playing House of Blues, usually there's 20, 30 stairs. I'm like, oh, I'll just do those. And then I travel with a set of bungees and a jump rope.
Right. Okay.
And
Nice.
that's it. So I
Sick.
do, arms, shoulders, and whatever else I can think of, and then push-ups. Uh, Stairs are great, but yeah, I will work out on the road. I work out more than when I'm at home, but I found a pretty good balance. I'm a huge fan of Eloy Casagrande,
Yeah, dude. Monster. Monster.
and I've been hip to him since he was little. I mean, like he's been a monster drummer since forever, and he was mentored by, oh gosh, what's his butt? Um, Achilles Priester.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Who's,
Yeah.
who's another, yeah, Brazilian monster metal drummer. I love his playing. He was mentored by Achilles, and Eloy. He's such a powerhouse of a drummer, and the stuff he used to do with Sepultura is because like I loved Igor and Max and Igor. He's another one, just absolute primal tribal drumming with that huge 16-inch rack tom. And yeah, so like when he came in, I was like, oh snap, he's playing for Sepultura because they had Roy Mayorga. They've had some monster drummers for that band. And then now with the new kid, younger.
Oh, wait. Who's playing for Sepultura? Oh, Grayson. Grayson Recruitment.
Chris,
Yes.
yeah,
Recruitment. Yeah.
absolute monster. Actually, I
Dude.
met
Amazing.
him at a airport in like Seattle.
Oh, wow.
I was checking my cymbal hard case, and it was like 15 years old, and he was checking his brand new cymbal hard case, the exact same one. I was like, I was like, I know you are stuff, man. But yeah, he's another absolute monster, and he's starting to hit more because of course he does the jazz thing, like he did the the whiplash thing because he's got those crazy Buddy Rich chops.
Yeah.
So playing with Sepultura, he also played with. Gosh, I feel like he sub for.
Wasn't it Suicidal Tendencies?
Yeah,
Didn't he do that as well? Yeah, yeah.
he's he.
So crazy going from like the
Ooh,
big band Buddy Rich stuff to doing that. I was like, wait, what? How does that even happen? Like that's crazy.
dude, and he's another one, man. Like I've seen him grow online. Like it. Instagram has been such an interesting thing in that regard because like there's a couple people that are now like mega big, like Tosh the drummer.
Yeah. Oh, dude, so sick. I'm trying to get him on the podcast as well. Yeah, he's
Like I don't know him, but I met him and his dad when he was like 14 at NAMM.
wow.
He wasn't wearing a shirt then either. But he's another one. He's been that dude in that world, and he just has slowly but surely, and he's now playing for like some of the biggest names in pop. Like he's out with Lady Gaga right now.
Yeah.
But he's another one. He's progressed and he's continued on, and it's interesting because I'm on the other end of that because, like, for example, I mentioned my friend Jake that plays with Luke Combs. Jake is a killer drummer, and he's on one of the biggest gigs in country. But being a killer drummer on one of the biggest gigs in country and not having children is so much different than when you start having a family of your own. And so, as much as I'm like, I love when I have like my single homies out there doing it, I'm going, man, that's going to be a huge like game changer for them when they realize like, wow, this is going to complicate things. Even having a dog, like that's what our bass player. I my kids have to have like a human watching them, like like. But his kids are his dogs, and he takes great care of those dogs. But like, he has to deal with, oh crap, I just got this great gig and I got to go out of town. Now I have to deal with that. It's like, there's a reason why a lot of homies of mine don't have pets. Because when you go like 2 months at a time, 3 months at a time, like you ever heard of the term tour widow?
No.
It's like your husband or it's like your spouse died because they're not there. Like, I think the biggest gap I ever had was 6 weeks. And I saw my wife 3 weeks in, and that was when she told me she was pregnant with our first child. That was rough, and that was me as a single, like not a single guy, but like a non-parent being out there and being gone. Then we had our kid, and leaving was brutal. Then our second kid became even harder. Third, even harder. Fourth, way harder. And one of the interesting things about with touring with a female act is that if they decide they want to be a mom, that means that kid's always there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how familiar your viewers are with parenting, but leaving a child as a father versus leaving a child as a mother is drastically different. It's brutal for me to be gone, but I would much rather me be gone so they can all still be together. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So like, I leave for Europe in 3 weeks, bro, and I'm already having to like mentally prepare. Like, okay, you were home 4 months straight. So now you have to go out and do this. This is the thing so yes, some of his friends' dads don't go out of town, but his friends' dads also are still gone 10 hours a day. I left for 75 minutes to go to the gym, and then I came right back. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same. And they're freaking homeschooled. I'm literally in their classroom right now.
All right.
So I get so much time with my boys that when I am gone, they're so well looked after between my mom who lives in town, my wife who's here, all of our friends, the family that's going to be coming through. It's like, it kind of sucks, but they don't miss me that much until I go like, oh, Daddy, I missed you. But when they're gone, and my wife, she says, oh, I get so much stuff done when you're gone. I said, well, great, But are you married? Are you?
I'm not. No, I'm totally single. Still, like, yeah, not married. No girlfriend at the moment. So
So
yeah,
for you, if you got offered a gig with Lady Gaga tomorrow, you could just go.
yeah. That's a privilege,
That's
man. Yeah.
I'm trying to get my friends that are single that don't have. I'm like, you need to go out and play as much as freaking possible. Now, I will say this: the next generation coming up has no time to gig. They have no time to woodshed, and not in reality, in their heads, in their minds. They believe if you're not touring by like 18, something's wrong. They believe that social media is the end all be all. And in reality, by the time I was 18, I had already done hundreds of gigs.
Mm.
Like I had those under my belt to where graduating from high school wasn't like, oh wow, the big scary world. It was like, okay, sweet, now I can really gig. That was what my mindset was. Whereas now, like I gave a lesson to well, sorry, it wasn't a lesson, it was like these one-on-one Skype chats that I offer. And my advice to this guy was you need to gig because you haven't gigged. You can play along the tracks, but this world that you're wanting to get involved with, you need more than that. You have to be able to interact with these people. You also need to, on the spot, like for example, I'm going to give you a scenario and I want to see what you're going to do with it. I tap you to go and stub a gig for me at a coffee shop, okay? You have, and this is a real world scenario that I had, so I want to see what you do, and then I'll share with you what I did. I need a real jazz tuned kit. I'm not like a thud. I need a boom. I need you to have an open tone, and I need you to have a good snare sound. Now, here's what you have to pick from. You have one snare drum, 5x14. Let's just say an acrolite. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have a 10, a 12, a 16, and a 22 bass drum. You have a ping ride, a 22-inch ping ride, which is already too heavy. You have a 17-inch crash, and you have a set of 14-inch hi-hats. What would you pull from that, and what would you do to it to make it suitable for that gig?
What were the bass drum sizes again?
22. You only have one size.
Oh, it's just a 22. Okay.
We have 16 toms, a snare, a 22-inch bass drum that's tuned to thud, and 14-inch hi-hats, 17-inch crash, and a 22-inch ping ride, like very, very heavy. Now you're playing a coffee shop that's probably about the size of this classroom. What of that would you bring in order to do that gig?
Probably. I mean, I'm not a jazz guy, but probably bring. Well, obviously the bass drum, the maybe the acrolite snare, and was there one hi hat or multiple hi hats? Did you say?
One hi-hat, crash, one ride.
I take the ride and the hat, and then the rack tom. I think that's probably rack tom,
So
snare, bass drum, hi hat,
let,
cymbal.
let, let me share with you what I did.
Yeah.
I left the bass drum at home. I took the 16-inch floor tom, put it on a pillow. Then I didn't have
Okay.
a fuzzy bass drum beater. I had, like, this is way before all the boutique beaters. It was, you had a soft one or you had a hard one. That's it. I took off one of my socks and wrapped the beater with a sock.
Right.
So I'm getting a boom, and I've just put it on a pillow. Then I took the snare, and I like it, basically, but I left the 22-inch ride at home, and I played the 17-inch as my small. And that's what I'm saying. What you said wasn't wrong. I'm saying this is how my brain worked at 18, 17 years old, because I had already said, okay, how many gigs am I going to do with this 22-inch freaking ping ride before I get a second option? I needed something that wasn't just ting, ting, ting. Because don't get me wrong, I love a good ping ride. But when you're playing in that world, I needed options. Like now I have flat rides. Now I have abilities to pull the exact sound I need. But when you're coming up and you don't have money, this is pre-Facebook Marketplace. You had Craigslist, and my Oklahoma Craigslist sucked. You didn't get to see high-end stuff. If you saw A Custom crashes, you were like, whoa, it's a pro. You know what I mean? So now you have options out there. You have so many resources available. You have different 6-inch snares are like commonplace now. You see them all the time. You're like going, that was not a thing when I was coming up. But it's been fascinating to see. It's never been easier to facilitate the sounds you need to gig, and still so few people are willing to do it. Because I came from a time where you had to freaking want it. You know, one of the reasons why I hit so hard now live is because I came up in a time where if you got one mic, maybe two, you were like, whoa. Because I would get a kick mic, and if I was really lucky, I would get a snare mic. Because if not, I knew I wasn't going to be able to move my left arm the next day. Because I hit so hard in order to be heard. You know, most of the drummers I knew in my hometown played mostly broken cymbals. Not because they wanted to, but because they had to. Cymbals were expensive. Sticks were expensive. I remember vividly buying those buckets of sticks, bro. You know? So to see what it is now, it's like everyone has access to all these amazing resources that I never could have dreamed of, and yet have never done less with that knowledge.
Let me ask you a question. I'm curious. You know Anthony Gazelle, drums for Daughtry?
I know of him.
Yeah. I saw a piece of advice from him because he was like, "Oh, people always ask me how to get the gig." So he was saying, for people trying to get a gig, like, don't use go out and take as many gigs as you can. Don't use the excuse of like, oh, the gig only pays $50. In your opinion, would you say, if it's a free gig, but maybe depending on the exposure, or if it's like, I don't know, $50, $100 a gig or whatever, so it doesn't pay much money, would you say for somebody who's trying to, I don't know, maybe get to a bigger gig, that they should literally just take as many gigs as possible at the beginning? Or what's your opinion on this? I'd be curious to know.
All right. So I'm giggling because I love this question. And I'm going to say some things that might be slightly controversial, but they shouldn't be. Okay, so the first one is, I will do a gig now for free if I want to.
Right.
What I will not do is say yes to any gig that I don't want to do. So if I say yes, it's because I want to do it. So I would much rather, so for example, yesterday I was hit up by somebody, and I won't really say much of the details, but it was basically something along the lines of, hey, I'm doing this really cool event. No, I can't pay you, but I'd really love it if you'd come out and do this thing and provide all this stuff, and it'd be a great exposure. And it's no disrespect to this person, and I didn't respond, but it was, this person doesn't have the following I do, doesn't have the reach that I do, and really doesn't have anything to offer me outside of money. So if you're not offering me that, then I'll kindly say no. But I literally did the exact same thing for our church for free. So do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it was this thing I was asked by our friends and family to help. And I was like, yes, I would love to. The exact same thing was being asked of me, but I'm saying in that capacity, I don't want to. So a single person, go out and gig as much as you possibly can. I used to call it 100 the hard way. There was many days where all I was trying to do was make $100. And sometimes it was 2 gigs. Sometimes it was 3. It was brutal. But hey, okay, so I'm going to make $60 and I get fettuccine Alfredo for this little jazz duo gig. Cool, sweet. All right, so that's 16-inch bass drum, piccolo snare, 12-inch hats, cracked K-light. Boom, done. So $60, there's like that, and I get the dinner, sweet. Oh, okay, great. I have that I have 2 hours of lessons, so that's $40, whatever, because I was making like $20 at the time. So there's 100. Oh, and sweet. I get to make $200 today because I'm making $100 tonight playing this 10 to 2 thing. So that's what my days were like. I was having to piecemeal together a living wage doing these different types of things. And then I got to the point where, like, you know what? I don't want to do 100 the hard way. Can I just do 100 the easy way? Like, I'm going to do these 2 lessons. They got to bump up the pay, and I get steak. You know what I mean? So all that to say, I get messaged all the time about people wanting to come to Nashville. And my question is always to this. It's two things. It's one, are you gigging where you're at? And two, are you seeing anybody else doing what you're wanting to do where you're located? And the reason why I ask that is this. There was like 3 or 4 other drummers other than me in my hometown that were doing music full time. Actually, really, maybe less than that. We'll just say that. But of those, maybe 2 really took it seriously, other than me. The rest of them, they did it, but they were so naturally gifted with it that it was just like, eh. And oftentimes, those type of people end up burning out real quick. Where, like, I've gotten to a place now where I feel like I found a pretty good work-family balance. So, like, mentally, I'm already preparing for Europe. So when I'm gone, I'm like, okay, it's these many days. We're so FaceTime as much as we can, postcards, photos. Oh, if there's a Lego set from Paris, I got to get that. Like that type of stuff. That's where my mind's at. I have these shows. I have this job to do. I am here so they can be there. That is my mental headspace. But gigging for me has become easier because now I have the luxury of saying no to what I don't want to do. And I never am rude about it because it's not anybody's fault that they can only pay whatever. Sometimes it's really a sacrifice for them to even pay this thing, which is so far below what I would ask. But that's not fair to them to be like, are you kidding me? What an insult. Because what if I really want to do it? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I think if you play at the Grand Ole Opry, I want to say it's like either 75 or 100, something like that. But it's the Grand Ole Opry. So I don't care if it was free. It's the Opry. You go. It's just to say you did it, right?
Mm.
And then you get popcorn and fruit punch. Are you kidding me? Like it's the best. But I will now go and play something for absolutely nothing. If I feel like it will be of benefit to me to do it. And what I mean by that is I don't get anything out of it, like financially. It's like I'm going to feel better having done this thing. Like, so my third son, Risen, was born with part of his brain outside of his skull. And so he's dealing with a lot of things. But the hospital of Vanderbilt was absolutely incredible. I was there at the NICU for about 2.5 weeks. I would like to, after this European tour cycle, do one of my Fun with Drum events where it's basically about a 45 to 50-minute presentation where I bring a bunch of fun things for kids to see, and it's an interactive thing, and I do it. I've done it and been paid to do it by the city of Nashville to do it at different libraries, but I also do it like at our church once a year and stuff, and at our son's homeschool thing that he does. But like it's fun, and it's like I just need the kids to get their hands on this stuff. Once they, wow, this is a shaker, and I can do it immediately. Mom, can you believe this, Dad? All they need is just something to get them in the freaking door. They don't have to all be drummers. That would be great. But if they can just discover a love of music, even if it's just as a spectator, just as a listener, it's proven that they will do better in school. It's proven that they will do better in life. Like, why would we not want to do that? So stuff like that, I'm totally done with. So to circle back, when you get married, brother, your time became more valuable. You didn't necessarily become a better player, but sorry, you're gonna have to bump up that paycheck if you want me to leave. Because do you see that freaking body behind me? Like when I first got married, I was like, "This is the best, yay, hooray, forever!" And then when I had a kid, I'm like, "You're the best, yay, hooray!" And then, holy crap, I have another one. This is so great. We have our own people, dude. Like, there's nowhere I would that I would rather be than right here with my family. This is my safe space, right? So when you pay me to go out, that is what you were paying me for. It's not to learn the music, which is great. It's not to play the drums, which I love. It's to be away from those goobers. That's what you're paying me for.
Yeah.
So I agree with him that you need to be out there gigging, but you also need to hopefully continue to progress in your career and have enough time to self-reflect to go, have I just leveled up and I'm still kind of holding on to these previous things? Like, yeah, once upon a time I used to give drum lessons for $20 an hour. I don't do that anymore. Like my teaching abilities have grown, my ability to play has gotten better, and that is going to be reflected in this price. That being said, though, it still is an investment on their end, and I didn't disregard it when it was at 20, and I don't disregard it now. So that's a mindset that I think a lot of people in the education world kind of struggle with sometimes, is that they they're so wrapped up in the value of what they perceive their knowledge to be that they forget that knowledge is still there regardless of if you learn it from this person or you learn it from this person. Now, I don't want to take away money from them, and I'm not, because I'm not charging for what I do. But when I do these free lessons, it's because I want this thing, our thing, music, to continue long after I'm gone. You know, the reason why society exists is because that person who's planting a tree, knowing he's never going to sit under the shade of it, like. And for me, not being, a bajillionaire, I mean, it'd be really nice, but knowing that my legacy will probably not be monetary, but if I can inspire this person and it just continues to snowball. So yeah, when you hit me up, it wasn't you, it was my schedule going like, I think I responded like, dude, bad time, like let's circle. And you did. We're here, and thank you. Um, but yeah, man, like life it's coming quicker. It feels like, like the days seem short. And for me, there's such a joy I get out of interacting with musicians and hopefully leaving them better than when, I was there before. And I want that too. Like I want people to know that this is a viable thing, but I don't want them to have any illusions about what this is also. Because I remember the first time I met a band that I was trying to be a part of that they didn't do music full time. It was like you told me the sky was pink. Like nothing made sense. I'm like, you're a dentist? Like what? And then I was like, oh wait, oh you're an adult. Oh no.
How old were you at the time?
19.
Okay, all right.
And it was such a. I look back now and borrowed $100 so I could drive out to Nashville and audition, and it was a nightmare, and I tanked terribly, and of course I had unbelievable off the wall anxiety that just peaked at the worst time, and yeah. So when I say I know what I'm talking about when it comes to auditions, it's because I sucked so badly at so many of them. Because the audition doesn't stop when you leave, dude. It's all of it. Like when I travel, like obviously, like I might wear like a sleeveless shirt, but you'll never catch me like looking like dirty and disheveled because I am a representation of them. I might be comfortable, but I'm still like I'm not gonna smell. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing goes with just how you conduct yourself with people in general, man. Like I hope that if when we hang, and we will hang in Berlin,
Amazing.
right? And I wish more people could just do that and not feel like it has to be, oh, I'm Ben the drummer and I'm always this all the time and I only ever watch drum videos. It's like, no, I have other things I do. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what your ethnicity is, but I'm in the process of contacting the clan museum for my mom's. So like my mom's house. And we're playing in Glasgow. I'm in the process of contacting the Clan McPherson Museum to come down and hang the day we play.
Right. Amazing.
Because I'm into like my ancestry and stuff. So like that's the stuff I'm into as well. Like I'm also like my boys are teaching me about gaming and I'm like this is cool too. I it's like this is valid. Like yes, I still love paradiddles, but I also love like hanging out with my boys and taking them biking and showing them how to like skateboard. Like that's where my mindset's at.
Man, love that, man. Yeah, love that. And this is what I love about drummers, especially, is like every time I speak to a drummer on this podcast, no matter who it is, like I've had Mike Johnston, I've had Rich Redmond, I've had, big names, people that I've revered for years, and then they come on the podcast, and within like 2-3 minutes, it's like we're just hanging out, and you're like, they're just chilling. They're just, and then I don't know, you get into talking about God knows what, cooking or whatever it is, like stuff that is not even drum related, and it's just like, okay, cool. So yeah, they're just human. They got other interests. Drumming isn't like 110% of their personality. It's so that's what I love about talking to drummers, man. It's just wholesome, man. Drummers are the best.
Well, dude, it's funny. So like Rich Redmond, man, he was another man. Like I would definitely consider him like a big brother, like mentor type. And he was one who super giving of his time when he didn't need to be. Like he was one of probably the most innovative as far as like drummers for social media, at least in Nashville, but definitely like also in the country. Like he embraced it. Like he saw the writing on the wall back when it was like MySpace, right? And I reached out to him on MySpace and hit him up because like some band that I'd seen that he had tracked for came through this gig I was doing and like called out a bunch of stuff like what is hip and 50 ways to leave your lover and crap like that. And so he came through with at that time a smaller artist named Jason Aldean, who's now he's Hall of Fame. And he's like, yeah, come out. And like this band I was playing with at the time was playing out in the lobby, and he could not have been cooler to like some young punk from like a small town in Oklahoma. And even now, man, like no matter where I'm at in my career, and I've had some highs and some lows, like he's always been just so cool. But like the last time we hung out, he was just fascinated by like the crap I deal with having kids. Like, cause he doesn't have any kids. So he just gets to go and do it. I'm like, yeah, I got to check in with like 4 people before I go anywhere. Like, but yeah, when I hang out with anybody, whether it's like a mentor or not, we end up talking about random, just goofy stuff. Like, for example, like, so me and the ladies, we like, so like when we're in Europe or just anywhere on longer periods, but definitely like in Europe, we'll have about like once a week. I call them State of the Unions, where just me and them will go to like a coffee shop. We just kind of talk about like family and stuff. Cause like we of the people that are in the actual like musical part of the band, it's just Rebecca, Megan, and me that are married. Tarka and Lucas are both single. So that's a thing that we have, right? And then it was something that kind of happened that was really kind of cool was Rebecca when she started to feel pregnant. And what I mean by that is feeling like her energy levels drop. I kind of had to go like, hey, are you okay? Let's reassess the tempos. Like, and so like there were several tempos that will probably have to be kicked up a couple notches simply because she's got more air now. But like those are little things that like I am trying to be intuitive to where they're at. Like I love watching them and like so like Megan, me and her make a lot of eye contact. And it's usually just like she's full of joy when she's playing and she's always smiling. Me and Rebecca, it's usually goofy because I will make a face at her like I love trying to get her to break. And it's once again, it's just for me. Nobody else notices. But like there was this one time I really got her. We were oh crap, where was that? It was in Europe. It was on the very first tour. And I had done something earlier in the show. I can't remember what I did, but it was one of those like, okay, like like it was nobody else noticed it, but everyone in the band noticed it, and they were like, okay, we're gonna address that later. And so she's playing during the little strip down section, and she looks back at me, and I just go, and I don't know why I did it, but she did like she Foster lyrics, and I'm like, yes, I did. I think I actually like went out to the crowd like, I got her, because
Amazing.
that type of stuff is like what makes it so much fun. Like that's the thing is like I literally was like feeding my brand new baby, right? Everybody's asleep in my house, feeding my baby, and I'm listening to the songs, knowing that I had just played them, a couple weeks ago, and I'm going, I miss them. I miss because like when we're out, we are very close. Like there's no friction ever. Like it's so unbelievably easy. And then when Lucas came in, and he's he's like a little brother. Like he's so funny. And I'm like, half the time he's saying stuff and I'm like, I have no idea what you are talking about. I said, you and me are this. I need you to get to here with me because you're not speaking English, man. He's got all the gibbity bebop toilet crap. Like I don't know. I know the slang and stuff. It's like it's the stuff my boys know, right?
Right.
Dude, you're gonna have to hit me to this because I don't get it. But
So it's like, what is it, like Gen Z talk, like that kind of thing? You mean?
heck yeah. He's like we were playing. You've heard of Sweetwater in the U.S.
Yes. Yeah.
So we did this thing at Sweetwater, and like in the place in Indiana where Sweetwater's located has the oldest Coney Island stand in the country.
Oh, amazing.
So those little mini conies, and so I'm like, oh, dude, I hadn't had a coney in like a decade. I was like, yes, let's go. And so we go there, and he's like, "Oh, you got some glizzies, bro? Got some glizzies, glizzy, bro?" And I'm like, "Are you having a stroke right now? What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh, you got to glizz up." Like, it's so I'm 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 just watching him. Like it's like National Geographic, and it's here's the thing. I love that dude. Like truly, like I have serious, legit. Like I love that guy. We've
Yeah.
been through a lot. He shared stuff. I bonded very much with that guy. But like watching him and his vantage point, like how he interacts with touring, has been so fulfilling because he's new at this, right? Like he's getting some serious tour chops under his belt, but it's new. Whereas I'm not saying I'm the vet or nothing, but it's not as shocking when something happens. And so watching him, dude, has been like, because I want to see what he's going to do. Um, but to see how he interacts with people and, seeing stuff that I've already seen from his vantage point it's almost like when my boys see something that I've seen for the first time. I'm like, oh man, wait till he sees it. This is going to be so great. And like that's been a fun thing too, is seeing the next generation coming up and going like, hey man, like there's still some really talented people here. Now we didn't lose them all, but like also I don't want to be part of a generation who just like pulls the ladder up behind you. You know what I mean? Like because I came from a generation who we didn't have mentors. Like I really had to every person that spoke into me, like into my life in a positive way, I had to seek out. They weren't just there. And so, and I really want you to understand my heart when I say this. I've been very fortunate to inadvertently become kind of like a mentor to some younger cats. And every time it happens, I go, oh man, because it means I'm now the old guy. Like, dude, we did a blues cruise a few months back,
Right.
and it was all guys your age or younger. And so we're all at the table, and I realized I was being asked questions by the circle, and I meant, oh, no, man, like, and my heart dropped just a little bit, just because I realized, oh crap, I'm now that guy. I'm the older guy going, oh man, he's still around. We better ask him some questions before he dies. But at the same time, it made me feel really proud to know, like, man, I have also accomplished some things and fallen on my face hard enough on other things that I now have the ability to hopefully speak life and positivity into these young cats coming up and give them advice like, hey, you're having a hard time with endorsements. Let's see where we're at. Let me, of course, I don't enjoy belittling people. I don't enjoy being critical of people. But when a friend who I would consider like that I'm kind of like mentoring, I want them to know. So, for example, there was a guy who messages me once every couple months, just sends me like one video clip, just ask for my advice. He texted me maybe like 2 months ago. It was like, hey, I know you're busy. When you have time, please just listen to it and give me your advice. And it was like a 30-second clip. And he says, what do you think? And I listened to what he was doing. And I said, okay, I'm going to be honest. And now, even when I'm honest and even when I'm critical of a person, this is how I'll say it. Okay, so you're him. I'm going to tell you exactly how I said it to him. Hey, man. So, and I recorded the video because I needed him to hear my voice. I said, hey, brother, I think that was really cool. I see what you're trying to do, and it's coming across a little sloppy because you're trying to do so much and it's not polished. So I said, take that note and that note, remove it, and it's going to lock in. And then I said that. He responded, thank you. This is why I reach out to you, because you will give me not what I need, not what I want to hear, what I need to hear, which is I want honesty. And even when it's being critical in that they are coming to me for advice. So obviously they're not necessarily wanting me to just validate what they're doing. They're wanting me to say, what do you think? I will always give them a positive with the negative, always. So if it's a little, oh man, I hear the sirens. That's total Europe. even when there is a negative thing, I would say, I love the mix. I love that what you're trying to do, because you're adding this and this, it's taking it away. So if you take those out, it'll lock. And he said, you're totally right. Not that I can't believe, what are you trying to do? Super, that's terrible. I said, no, it's just a little sloppy Joe. So take that out until we get this locked in. That's it. Because what good is me being critical if I can't also offer some kind of advice to fix the problem? If I'm not doing that, I'm griping. And that's dumb. And nobody wants to learn from somebody like that. Because I truly want, whether, young or old, guy, girl, I don't care. I want them to be able to sound the way they want themselves to sound. I don't want them to sound like me. I want my friend Megan Karchman is an awesome drummer, not an awesome chick drummer, not an awesome man. She is an awesome drummer, happens to be a female, happens to have awesome hair, happens to have the freaking John Bonham, breastplate tattoo. But I have referred her for so many gigs because she's dope. Yes, she's a female. And there was actually one gig where they specifically asked for a female drummer. Basically, it was a country gig. They asked me if I could do it. I said, I can't. They said, okay, well, if we can't get you, we really want a female drummer. I said, okay. And I hit up Megan to ask her if she could refer other people, because she had a gig. And she texted me back. She's like, hey, why don't you refer me? I was like, I thought you were, no, like, refer me as a vet. So from then on, I've referred her for several things. But like, she got it. Yes, she was a female, but she was also the best one. She was the best person that auditioned that day, and she got the freaking gig. I told the ladies, I'm like, y'all didn't pick me because I'm black. And obviously, it was a joke. And the reason why I made that joke is because there are auditions out there where you have to be whatever the checkbox is.
Right. Okay.
Tall, bald, dreads, black, white. And there was one gig that I was actually up for because they needed a black guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, now granted, I killed that gig. But also because I freaking loved that artist and studied that drummer. You know what I mean? So it's like, the fact that my ethnicity had anything to do with it is secondary, right? Like, I would have happily played with Paramore. You know what I mean? And like, now they actually have a super multi-ethnic band. Like, the freaking lead guitar player's got a big old fro. So it's like, I don't really care what you look like. I just want to be able to play well, and I wanted to play with like authority.
Mm. Yeah. Man, Ben, I got to say, man, I feel like we could keep chatting for like another 2 hours. I've got still so many questions I could ask or things we could discuss. But yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up.
Do one more question.
One more question.
Give me a good one.
All right, give me ultimate the top three of the ultimate advice for up and coming players who want to break into the industry, get bigger gigs. What would your like top three? What's the word? Top three. I'm blanking. There's a word I'm trying to look for, but yeah, I'm tired. But yeah, I think you get what I'm trying to say.
I also am fluent and sleepy. Actually, what time is it there?
It's 9:30.
Oh, bro, it's bedtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, well, so one of the first ones was a mentor of mine who actually lives in Nashville now. This guy named Arthur Thompson, amazing drummer / percussionist originally from my hometown in Tulsa, and now lives out here. He said, "Don't buy any gear that won't make its money back," and especially in this day and age, like that 1984 Terminator bell brass might look cool on your wall, but do you really want to spend the 4Gs to get it? So yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in really looking closely at like budget level stuff. Like I don't what kind of drums do you play?
I have. Wait, actually, right now I don't have a drum kit because I sold that last year. I was playing. Well, I was playing a Thomas Starr Classic.
Okay, so
Walnut Birch, but yeah.
which those are great drums.
Amazing, yeah.
I play the Gretsch equivalent of their Rockstar kit.
Okay.
So so for the listeners who don't know what that means is the Star Classics are like not their highest end, but like a B. I play like the C or even heading towards D level as far as what the shells are and like the build, but I love them. So the way I look at it is I pretty much blow most of the money I'm going to spend on the snare drum and the cymbals. The bass drum and the rack tom and the floor tom are budget material wood. So like my kit is, I think it's mahogany. And then another one is it basswood? No, it's a maple, but it's a lower qualities apparently, but it sounds amazing to me. So the only thing I did was I added die-cast hoops. So for me, I was able to get the sound I wanted for about, I don't know, half roughly of probably what you paid for just the shells for your kit.
Mm.
And so like, yeah, I would say buy gear that's going to be useful. Don't spend $2,000 on in-ears and have broken cymbals. Don't buy a $900 ride but have broken sticks. Like, you have to find the balance. So that's one. Also buy used if you can. The second one is there's three things you're looking for when you get a gig. You want it to pay good, you want the hang to be good, and the music to be good. If you have any two of those, that's a gig that you want to have. And if you have all three, you have hit the mother load. And the third one is from a friend of mine, now a friend, Steve Ferroni, who's a legendary drummer. He's played with everyone from
incredible.
Jockey Average White Band, Eric Clapton, George Harrison. I mean, every freaking and he was a freaking heartbreaker for 30 years. I saw him in clinic when I was 19, and I asked him this question, and it was, Mr. Ferroni, what's the best advice you could give someone like me? And he responded this, which was, you spend 2 hours on stage, 22 hours off stage. They hire you just as much for those 22 hours as they do for the 2. So be a good hang for both. And I said, oh my gosh. It completely changed everything about how I viewed touring, because up until that point, I'd only ever really gigged locally. I don't have to like these people. I just have to see them for an hour and a half. Now I have to live with these people. Like it's different. Have you done much touring?
Yes, actually, I've so I play for an Elton John tribute band, and so
You play?
what's that?
Do you play concert toms?
I don't. I don't. No, no, no. I love the old the Nigel Olsson concert tom sound, like freaking incredible. The old Slingerland kit, like, but no, we've definitely we've toured a lot, especially in the States. Last year we did 6+ months in the States,
Whoa!
which was crazy. Yeah, and we've got some more stuff coming up. I think we might be coming to Nashville next year, actually, potentially.
Dude, if you're in town, I'd love to come see that show, man. But
Man,
yeah,
hell
so
yeah.
now once we hop off, I'll have a bunch of questions about your kid.
But yeah, man. But dude, the was that the end of the advice?
Oh yeah, so it was yeah. He basically set off the chain reaction in my mind of going, oh my gosh, like I never really thought of having to be personable, or because it's like, what does it matter if we freaking play the show, And then he said, well, I don't know, 8 seconds of words, and it changed the trajectory of my whole life because up until that point, I never really thought of what it would take to have to deal with people you don't necessarily ideologically agree with, or like I don't drink or like smoke weed or anything like that. So it's like not really a lot of stuff for me to do. I'm nursing a Dr. Pepper in the corner. It's like that's what my night is, like that's what I do. But like I can hang and do whatever. It's like we're gonna go to the Eiffel Tower, okay, like I'm down. But it's yeah, I owe Steve a lot for that one because I'd never really thought of it like that before. Because so much of our, I will say names, but there's been several drummers that really should have been way further in their careers, but their personalities stopped them from progressing.
Right.
And every couple of years, I feel like I go through another reflective period where I go like, okay, is this way of thinking still beneficial? Is this mindset still beneficial? Or have we now discovered this to be the more, beneficial way? Like I used to have no problem picking fights, not like what, but just like I wouldn't let stuff go. And now I'm just like, man, I crave peace. Like
Mhm.
that's what I want, and if you meet Steve Ferroni ever, he's just, he's even, and so like the older I get, the more I try to be that.
Dude, hell yeah, man. Thank you for that. So yeah, man. Coming to the end, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you got coming up? You want to shout? I know you're obviously going on tour in Europe with Larkin Poe, but is there anything that you want to plug at this point?
I mean, come see us in Europe if you can. Also, I'm doing this thing. Actually, this will be fun. You're the only one I'm talking to this about. I'm doing this limited run of snare drums with the smaller company named Radius Drums. It's out of Washington State, and yeah, this guy Kenny, he's super super nice. And I had ordered a drum specific for Larkin Poe's acoustic section. I'd been playing a 13 and even a 12, but it was really deep and heavy. And I wanted something smaller and more compact that I could actually fly with for like shorter one offs and stuff. So I said, what if we could do like a 4x12? So it's a 12-inch diameter, 4 inches deep, and the top half is maple and the bottom half is mahogany. And it's beautiful drum. And I ordered it. And I was like, this is so great. And he's like, dude, this is so fun to build. And then I told him, what I'm going to do. And he said, well, what if we make it like a signature snare? And I don't endorse Radius drums, but I own several snares made by friends of mine who are smaller drum builders. Same way with cymbals. And I just like supporting smaller brands if I can. And I was like, dude, I don't want to do a signature thing because I don't endorse them. I just own a snare. But I said, I will attach my name to it if we can find a way to use like what my artist cut would be for like a nonprofit. So I said, would you be open to that? He's like, actually, that's awesome. I said, great. Because he's still making what he needs to make. And then like the artist cut will just go straight to that. So then I told my wife, she's like, oh, that's cool. And then I just picked the Special Olympics because I have two special needs kids. And I was like, man, who doesn't like the Special Olympics? Like they're awesome. It's an amazing organization. I've done a couple events over the years where I was able to like see it, and it's a celebration. So yeah, we're doing 10 snares. I'm actually going to finish the video and probably have it posted sometime next week, maybe. But it's just a limited run of 10 drums, and then that's it. And it is a little bit of an investment because they're not like $200, but they also know that the proceeds from what I would get are going to an amazing organization. So they get a great drum, something exactly like what I'm using live. I'm actually signing each of the badges, so they'll have that as well. So yeah, but I mean, I thought that'd be cool, and I mean, who can be mad at me for doing that? You know what I mean? Like I'm just, right. So I'm helping my friend sell some drums, and I'm helping this amazing organization, and it's there's nothing in it for me other than hopefully helping them. So
yeah, amazing, man, amazing. Well, Ben, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, man. Thank you so much for coming on, taking the time.
Yeah, no problem, brother. Thanks, man.
Hell yeah, man. I look forward to meeting you in person, man.
Dude, absolutely. Yeah, when it gets a little bit closer, just reach out because, like I said, I think we play the 1st of November, and then we are off in Berlin, I think the day before. So I might be able to meet for coffee or something like that.
Hell yeah, man. Amazing. Let's do it.
All right, brother.
Sweet, man. Great talking to you, Ben. Cheers.
Give me money.